that gonna be okay if it's up here? Just only because I like to have like the speaker up. But will that cover a lot of your stuff? Oh, maybe I should just do this. Have you
First,
up
just
here.
you and me again?
Hey, Ben, I think
Hi,
there's
Rachel.
more people coming, actually. I know,
Two things.
well, Priscilla said she'll be here, Fabian said he'll be here.
They came last week.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Kenzie will be here. Yeah.
How are you? I'm James.
Ben.
Ben, nice to meet you. And we got an attendance sheet here. I'll make sure you get your CE credit.
Got it, thank you. We love those.
Yes. It feels great to get credit. Yes.
My dad was joking with me, he's a realtor too, and
Okay.
I mentioned I was coming to a CE class, he's like,
Oh, yeah, that's probably my year to get those.
Good to remember. Yeah. I feel like as salespeople, you're so focused on sales that you kick the can on stuff like CE until you have to.
Yeah.
And then it's like red alert, like, oh wow, I better get
he
busy.
teaches too. He
Oh,
teaches
wow.
architecture project management. at
Okay.
his Career center, so like,
Oh, yeah.
he does the whole bit, and he's just like, oh, yeah, I should probably do that.
Yeah, yeah, my son actually went to Fairfield Career Center. Yeah. Graduated in May.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to get him into the field of construction right now, actually, so.
He just graduated from where?
Well, technically it's homeschooled Pickerton, but by way of Fairfield Career Center.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, one of my son's friends just went to welding, but he
Oh.
graduated through welding school.
Yeah,
And he.
oh, really? Yeah,
But he wants to get into construction.
okay, yeah.
Your son?
Yes, yeah, well, one thing that's nice about career center is that they don't end the relationship after graduation, so I'm sure I can get plugged back in and see what's in demand over there. And I haven't connected the dots here, but I feel like it's an important conversation to have about workforce and what students are gonna be doing for work, just because of housing. Because right now, if a household makes less than 60 to 80,000, it's hard to get them approved for, you know, a standard purchase price. And Central Ohio. It's a fun fact.
Alright, well, I think I got you all set up.
Thank you. Okay.
Hopefully that doesn't, and if you even wanna stop the screen share and just have you, will you kind of go through
Mhm.
and introduce yourself and, you know, go through your products and whatnot, and then
Sure.
do the share screen when you get started.
Okay,
That way people get to see it if it's recorded.
perfect.
Just we'll
So
put it on.
anywhere I'm at on camera? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
it's that camera back there.
That guy, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. You know, I go to those houses and it's like, you were being recorded.
Big brother
We
is.
are not on mute.
You're right.
Okay, it was great meeting you.
All right.
Remember that email too.
Got it, yeah, I'll send that to you.
Everybody.
All right, what's up, so, how are you? All right, so we actually have a few more than I thought, so I thought we only had 4. But we're passing around an attendance sheet and I'll get to the folks online as well, but if you could just make sure you have your license number, your phone number and email. I want to make sure that I can get your credit for the class, and then I'll also email you your certificate after the class as well. So, and I'm gonna do the same thing for our folks online. And for our folks online, before we get started, just a few housekeeping things. I want to make sure that you get credit for the class today, so in the chat, if you can leave your phone number, your name, actually your name will be with what you're signed on, but your phone number, email, and license number. I need your phone number, email, and license number. I'll be able to email you your certificate after the class, and your license number. I can make sure the Department of Real Estate has credit for your CV. All right, so I'll go ahead and get us started, and I thought we only had 4, so we may have to share materials a little bit, but the first thing I wanted to do is just kind of give you a quick intro to NFM, if you will. And these are some of the standout things we do as a lending team. And then don't worry, after our class today, I can make sure that I resend some of this. But So some of the things I like to share as far as NFM and that we do that stand out, the first thing I would say is our fastest cash program. Right now, we have a program where we can close in 2 weeks or less, and in the spring and summer, when we do a lot of our peak season business, it's nice to know you can do a quick close with a financed offer, so we've had a lot of success with that. Another thing that we have is a NFM 101.5% LTV down payment assistance program. And there's a couple of ways we've been using this one. The first is with some of the changes coming in August for realtor compensation. It's nice to have an option where we could potentially finance up to 1.5% of a buyer's agent commission into the deal if we need to. And then, hopefully we don't have to, but it's nice to know that we can include that in settlement charges, which is nice. Now, if a client doesn't need help with that, let's say they have money for down payment and closing costs, but not enough for like appraisal gap. We can finance up to 1.5% for the purchase price as appraisal gap, free up more cash. So that's nice that we can help with cash guarantees to the seller, makes this also very competitive. And then, this is another one that I find is really important part of my job right now, is our 5-year rate drop pledge. A lot of clients are fearful to buy, and we try to give them reasons for security, let them know that there's a path. For a 5-year rate drop pledge, what that means is, Federal Reserve, their target for lowering interest rates is by the end of 2025 to be back under 6%. But until then, we have a 5-year rate drop pledge that says that if they purchase with us right now, this is an exit strategy to get them into a lower rate, and we'll actually waive the lender fees for them to honor the relationship with them being a past client of ours. So that's another thing that's kind of unique to NFM. And those are just kind of a few things I wanted you to keep this in mind for. And then. All right, and I'm going to check on our folks online as well, make sure we're getting what we need for their credentials as well. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4 people on with us. All right, Jennifer. Okay, I'll also need, for those of you that didn't type in an email, I'll need your email, because I need to email your certificate to you as well. Phone number is great, and then your license number, because after the class, I'm going to log this class with the Department of Real Estate. I'm going to make sure you get credit for it. So phone number, email, and license number. Awesome. All right. So I think we can get rolling here. Right here is the workbook for our class today. And Priscilla, I'm sorry, I thought we were only having 4 for the class, so, okay. But yeah, feel free to take notes. Everything's going to be on the screen as well. Please, everyone. Okay, so with that, I think we can go ahead and get started. And I'll go ahead and do our screen share for our people online as well. All right, so this CE class is 50 affordable ways to generate more leads for realtors. And we're going to go over a few things that will help you with generating some more deals for your business as well. I like to better introduce myself. So again, my name is James Hazley. I'm Buckeye born and bred, always lived in Ohio. And from a finance standpoint, I've been in finance since about 2005 with a focus on mortgage lending since about 2015. And been with NFM since August of last year, so coming up on a year here. And I usually do maybe about 8 million a year in production, trying to grow that right now. But this information isn't something that I generated. These are actually from 7-figure earners that are in real estate that actually have worked for real estate agents. So I like to make sure that I kind of source where the information is coming from, so you know it's coming from a trusted source for you. So you can go ahead and flip the page there. And I think I gave you my little intro. This is gonna be very busy for the people online, because I'm gonna be toggling here, toggling there, all right, so. Where I'm gonna share with you, is that okay?
Yep.
All right, so small actions go a long way, we're gonna go with our first page here, it's actually page 3 in your workbook. And some of this, for some of our veteran agents, it's like, oh my gosh, I've heard this before. But the fundamentals are the fundamentals for a reason, because they're tried and true and they still work. So the first thing that we have here is create a list. All right, and of those lists, you can have VIP client lists, vendor lists, and top business partners. So a VIP client list, I like to kind of separate this into 2 different things. As you start to network, you start to find other professionals that are in the industry that you consider affiliates that don't quite do the same thing. So it'd be like insurance agents, home inspectors, other realtors, maybe realtors that have a certain niche where you can kind of cross-refer each other business, maybe a realtor that focuses on investment properties where you help with, first-time home buyers or what have you. It's good to create a list of these people to keep them in mind, because usually the biggest struggle that a lot of salespeople have is keeping a list and keeping it organized is the thing. And by organization, I mean having a specific time where you time block in the week when you're actually going to be reaching out to these people. So the first thing is building a list. So part of that would be, again, the first break off I would make in that is, people that are maybe affiliates or professionals that are in the same industry. The other one would be VIPs that are people that are not in our industry. So everybody has a phone, everybody has a list of personal contacts. And I think especially for newer agents, who all has been licensed for a year or less? Oh, nice, okay. So here's what I would say is, kind of the other side of that VIP list. So we all know people from different groups or organizations that we're part of that they don't even care that you do real estate, they just like you. So, I'm sorry, your name one more time for me? Ben. So you might have somebody that from, an organization that you're part of, and they just know you're a great guy. It might be important to maybe have coffee with that person maybe once a month. Or at least just call and check in on them and say, hey, I know that I just started my real estate business, but if there's anybody top of mind that you can think of that needs help with real estate planning, do me a favor, don't keep my name a secret,
I did
So-
that yesterday.
Fantastic, all right, we have a testimony.
There you go.
There you go. So, and I have people like this in my life as well, so some of them are people that I've gone to church with, some of them are friends I've gone to school with, friends I haven't seen for a long time, and gives us a chance to get together. And I feel like depending on where you are in your career or journey, I see some younger faces too, so if it's been a while since college, I think that one of the things that one of my realtor friends is running through right now is that when he was coming out of college, nobody had any money, but now they're kind of stepping into their careers, so it's time to kind of circle back and say like, hey man, are you considering real estate, can I help you with buying or selling, or even just real estate planning? So, so again, VIP list is first just a list of affiliates from networking. Second would be personal contacts that you feel it makes sense to stay in touch with. All right. The next would be top business partners. So
James, quick question.
sure,
Do we hand these back to you or can I write them?
you can write notes. That is yours to keep forever and ever.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
You have a copy.
I thought there were only 4 people coming. I'm so
Oh, okay,
sorry.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
but
I'll make copies.
oh yeah, I can do that. Can we borrow yours? Excellent. Great, we actually need 2.
We need this copy as well.
No, that's okay. I can have one. Yeah, thank you. So top business partner. So I'll kind of give an example of one of the things that I do. So as a mortgage lender, one of the things I have to do is I have to keep track of who my top referral partners are. The way that you do that is obviously a lead tracker. So if you don't track your leads, that would be the first thing that I would share with you is some people fight over having a CRM or not having to learn it. It could be as simple as a notebook. It could be as simple as an Excel spreadsheet. But the point is that if you track your leads, what you can find on there is who's referring your business the most often and how if you actually close from that referral partner. It'll also tell you people that are referring you business that you don't close with, and it'll tell you how to prioritize your time. But once you actually find there are a few referral partners that, man, every time I get a referral from this person, we close, you know, so those are VIP clients that we want to make sure, or VIP referral sources that we want to make sure we keep kind of close. So, those top business partners, I would say, you know, should definitely be a hot list that you should keep. And also have a lead tracker for how often they refer you business. And you can essentially, over a 12-month time period, figure out your conversion rate from that referral source. I don't want to get too far into it, but just a quick thing I'll say before we move to the next slide is, there's really only 3 sources for leads for a salesperson, and this is universal for all salespeople. You have a cold market where you're cold calling, cold prospecting. You don't have a relationship with these people. You're just trying to provide maximum value and closing as you can. Those leads typically close somewhere from 2 to 5%. These are proven numbers. We've seen this over and over again. That's everything from cold calling to mailers to all that stuff. These are people you don't have a relationship with. Then you have past clients. And if you've been in the real estate industry for less than a year, you may not have a lot of past clients, but I'll share with you how you can get referrals from your current clients as well. But you want to keep track of that. And the other one is paid lead sources. So I think that a lot of times people think that paid lead sources are a shortcut to close deals. I don't have the numbers on it, but one of the biggest lead generators or lead marketers, I should say, is Zillow. And you can just talk to your fellow realtors about how much they have to pay to actually close a deal with a Zillow lead. So the leads that convert at the highest point are just gaining one relationship at a time. Like, Ben, I'll meet you right here, right now. If you find out that I provide enough value and we have some niche products where it's just like, okay, well, I feel like I at least know this person. You actually build a bridge of trust where it actually makes sense to refer each other business. You know, so I encourage people to network, especially if they're a year or less into the business, because as many warm referral sources that you can create, the better. So, so the next thing that we have here is catering to your list. One of the things that you can do is host client appreciation events. And I always say, if you don't have a lot of cash to start as a new salesperson, leverage what events your brokerage is already putting on, you know, or if you're on a team. One thing I've seen online that's kind of cool is if somebody on your team is promoting a listing, you could promote that listing. It doesn't have to be your listing, but if somebody comments on that, you find out they have a real estate need. That's how you kind of leverage the event, or in that case, that post, to get a lead from it. Create a personal budget form. Create a personal budget form for past clients. So one of the things that I do is I keep track of my past clients, and this is a really important percentage. Past client referrals usually convert at 33%. Isn't that amazing? So we're talking about going from cold market where it converts from 2 to 5% to somebody that knows, likes, and trusts you already. Chances are that if they're credit ready or they're mortgage ready, that they know other people are as well. So we want to keep track of those people. I have like a birthday list, and sometimes it's just as simple as a phone call or text. You may not have to actually send them something, but if you want to send them a card, or there are some great gifting programs out there as well that you can participate in. I have a client right now who I helped her purchase a home 3 years ago, and every year I just say happy birthday to her. Who all is like excited when they get a happy birthday text from somebody, right? I never had anybody say like, James, not taking happy birthday wishes today, sorry, man. So it's a happy occasion. And turns out that she's now looking for a home. And I just got her pre-approved again 3 years later, but it's just because I stayed in contact and kept track of that past client. All right, and then the next thing we have here is create a vendor of the month program. This is more so if you're doing kind of a newsletter kind of situation. So a vendor would be, you know, some of those people that we spoke about, maybe a home inspector, insurance agent, anybody that you go, you know, does a good job that you feel comfortable referring to your network of friends, family, and that sphere of influence. And then the birthday program as well. So I'm gonna move the chat over here. All right, and then I'm going to pass these out as well. So what I'm going to pass out next is our database strategy, or how to generate leads from past clients or current clients. And Sorry, I actually need a couple more. Yeah. All right, so these are phone calls. So you could do past clients, current clients, local title agents, local insurance companies, and local appraisers. So what you have here, this is for past clients and current clients. So I'm going to explain this for you real quick. We have 30, 60, 90-day calls, an A to Z program, and the top 50 past clients and top 25 VIPs. So you'll see here in point number 1, it says, every client who closes a transaction with you will receive a phone call 30 days after closing, 60 days after closing, and then 90 days after closing. So what most salespeople struggle with is, what do I say? Like, what do I say on this phone call, right? So has anybody ever heard the acronym FORWARD before? No? Okay. You haven't? Okay. You remember what it stands for?
Family,
Uh-huh.
occupation.
Yes.
Family.
Uh-huh. Recreation. Yeah, and dreams.
Okay.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah, so how to actually use that, it's a good icebreaker. So you can say, hey, Mr. Jones, just calling to check in. How's everything going with the new house? Pretty easy to start with that. And then let's just pick family. So, you know, I remember when we were looking for this house, school district was really, really important to you. How are the boys settled into the new school? You know, so there's a connection there that makes sense for your relationship. And then you can say here, can I ask a favor? Can I count on you to refer me just one client sometime over the next 12 months? And then you're done, you know? So I love that because number 1, you're calling to check on the client, which most salespeople after they close the business, forget about the business. So the fact that you follow up and keep a relationship, I think is really, really important. Now, the adjustment I would say here is like, I have some people that say, you know, calling 30 days to 60 days to 90 days seems aggressive. So I would say adjust it to your style for what makes sense for you. Now I have some clients where we've just hit it off, and some of them I can text right now, like, you know, Mr. Lewis, what's up, dude? Like, nothing, watching the game, what's going on with you? Like, some people you'll have that rapport with. Others, I would say, if it just makes sense to check in maybe just twice a year, it still makes sense. You know, birthday and house anniversary would be two days to make a lot of sense. All right. And then this point here, point B, recurring monthly calendar or time block. Because again, I think that being organized about how you keep up with the list, that's everything. I feel like organization is probably, besides consistency, or maybe the 2 major shortfalls that most salespeople have, is not having a good follow-up and not putting it on their calendar. So put a recurring calendar event on there where you have, for me, I put database and it's on there once a week. And then I check my birthdays and I check my house anniversaries. If I don't have anybody to call, then I move on to the next thing. But if I do, it's time to call on my database. All right. And then the A to Z program. So how that works is if there's 26 letters in the alphabet, 52 weeks in the year, you could call a letter of the alphabet each week. And all past clients will receive a call twice per year. And then again, you just end with that close. Can you do me a favor? Can I count on you just to refer me one client over the next 12 months? All right. So again, you can adjust that to your style, whatever works best for you. For me, honestly, what I've ended up doing is just house anniversaries and birthdays, because it's just kind of a happy occasion to kind of call, and it's a warm call that way. And then the number 3 here is top 50 past clients. And for your favorite clients, these are people that you want to add to your newsletters or client appreciation events. That's really how you build a relationship with past clients. Let them know that you didn't forget about them. If they have any questions about real estate, it's a good time to prove your value. And I think that as you develop that list over time, it just becomes very natural that they know that you're going to have a great phone call, and they know that, you know, more than likely, if there's an opportunity to refer you, that they definitely will. But yeah, definitely hold on to that one. It helps you stay structured with the people that you have as your past clients. Now, one thing that's not on there that I want to make sure that I share with you, I'm very sensitive to first year salespeople because, man, my first year in sales was rough. So I really would have appreciated some ways to kind of grow my numbers because there weren't a lot of past clients to work with. So current client referrals. how that works is, I've heard it said that great salespeople, they know their scripts, so they know what they're gonna say on the phone for a buyer consultation, an initial phone call. They're not bumbling over their words. It has a direction. This call is going somewhere and it's going towards a close. So for our initial phone call, for example, with us, the first thing that we do is, we'll make sure we're clear about the goals. And we'll say, hey, Mr. Jones, I was referred to you by Lori. I understand that you're starting your home search. Is that right? Then yes or no, whatever. And then from there, we get into what their goals are, and capturing their goals is the most important part because you're listening to what they're asking for. That's your opportunity to add value. So as soon as you're listening, and I found this is another thing that top sales professionals do, is that they're not rushing somebody through a protocol. They're listening to what their clients have to say. Right? And so once you actually have that, they're going to give you what to close them on, So once you close them on that, so I'll say their goals back to them. So I'll say, so let's recap. You said your ideal monthly payment is $2,200 a month or less, that your timeline you'd like to purchase in the next 90 days. School district is very important to you and your wife. Did I say that all correctly? Yes, Jamie, that's phenomenal. I showed them that I'm listening for what they're looking for. I'm also crystal clear on what their purchase goals are. So what I do then is just from there, whatever makes sense to provide value, I'll make sure that we do that. And then because I've listened to their goals and then I've added value, I have the right to ask this question to close the phone call. And I'll say, can I ask you a quick question? Did you find this phone call valuable? And that's why you gotta make sure you said something valuable, right? And then usually it's yes. And perfect. If you can do me a huge favor, if you know anybody else that's looking to buy or sell real estate, can you keep me in mind and refer me to a friend or family? So if you don't have a lot of past clients, that's an important part of your call script to include, where you can actually double the referrals that you have from people that you're already working with. Does that make sense? So, all right. All right, so you can go to the next page there.
A quick question.
Sure.
At the bottom of that page, it says make 5 sales calls a day to local businesses. When we're talking about local businesses, what are we, like, what's an example of that?
Actually, can you go to that page for me? Yeah. So that's more for like the vendor list. And to be honest with you, that's not like a daily method of operation that I use very often. Okay. But what I've seen done is, it's for one of two things. If you wanted to highlight a local business that you'd include, if you're doing like the newsletter approach, because you've seen realtors do things like, what is there to do in Columbus? There's this coffee shop, there's this restaurant, that kind of thing. Or if you wanted to host an event there for a client appreciation event. And then, you could always, if it makes sense, if it's a business owner, they might know other business owners, and you can just introduce yourself as a real estate agent, and let them know that, you're there for any real estate needs they might have. But that's typically what that's for, if you're building your vendor list.
Because one thing that I've heard is it's a good idea for lead generation purposes to call HR of larger businesses and ask if there's a realtor that they work with. And see if you can become someone that they refer to on their list if someone is moving into town for work, moving out of town for work.
For
So
relocation and
yeah,
stuff.
for relocation.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah, absolutely.
I've made that call.
There we go. Yeah. So, I mean, that would be a niche, definitely. And I love that, if there's a way that you could be one of the trusted real estate agents. I heard it on a call once. I haven't found a way to do it yet, but there's, you can do the same thing for probate attorneys. Because they have a goal of, they have a decree by a court magistrate where, and the same thing for divorce attorneys, where they're trying to liquidate an estate as quickly as possible. And they need somebody that's good at their job, who can, list the property, get it sold, and help the, executive of the estate liquidate the assets as quickly as possible. So probate attorneys would be a good one to call as well. So we kind of already went over the ask current client for referrals. And then the next one, it says, keep track of every single lead that you receive. And I always get curious about this. How do you guys keep track of your leads right now? Don't worry, I'm not reporting to the principal, I'm just curious.
Command,
Command, is that your CRM command?
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Awesome. And does that, what does it capture? Like just name, phone number, email, give you a place to leave comments, that kind of
It
thing?
gives you everything.
Okay, very cool.
More than you
Yeah.
want.
You literally would struggle to find enough information about any client to fill out everything that you would think
Got
of
it.
in command.
Yeah, what's their shoe size? What's the date the firstborn was born?
Yeah,
Gotcha. Well, I love CRMs, especially if you find that keeping track of leads is not your thing. And I'll double down on this one more time, just because another sales coaching that I heard once is that great salespeople know their numbers. And the only way that you can know your conversion rate is if you keep track of your numbers. So, for me, I know how many leads I have every single month. I know which realtor referred it, which past client referred it. And then at the end of the month, and this is for mortgage business, I'm not sure how it works for real estate, but for every lead that I get, it should end in a pre-approval 33% of the time or more. And if it's less than 33%, that means there's something wrong with the referral source. So, that's maybe a coaching opportunity with the person that's kind of teeing it up for you. So we talked about the VIPs. So if you have an aunt who just loves you, but she's sending you everybody regardless of their cash position, or if they have a credit score or that kind of thing, you'd say, I really appreciate the referrals, but kind of coach them into what a good referral is. But the other thing that you can do there is over the course of a year, you start to see if you want to hit a certain commission, how many leads it's going to take per month to hit that specific commission, because that matters to your income, but if you're not keeping track of it, it's kind of hard to be in control of it. And when I realized that about sales, I got really excited, because I think people outside of sales think like, oh, it's very, uncertain. How do you know how much money you're going to make? Anything you do, you're going to have to work hard. So we can get that out of the way. But I would say that if you at least know what target to shoot for every month, specifically, how many leads you should take in to hit a certain number, or you should hustle a little bit more to get a few more leads. But that's what I love about Lead Tracker. So glad you guys have that. All right, and then that last point there on the left, it says, make sure to write a thank you. It's supposed to say card to the referral source. That's nice, just to make sure that the referral source knows that you appreciate them. And these points in the middle here, ask for feedback. If you have a way to collect reviews, that is free marketing. So I think that that's a great way to make sure that people can read your reviews and also kind of see how you're doing with customer service. And then this last one here is social media content calendar. How many of you plan to use social media for lead generation? Okay, so this is a really cool idea. If you couple ChatGPT with, he's already on it. If you couple ChatGPT with a actual calendar that maps out topics, ChatGPT, I actually use this myself. You can type into ChatGPT, what are the top 10 things that home buyers are worried about right now? And then what are the top 10 solutions for those things? And then create a social media calendar by topic for the next 30 days on topics I should share, and 1-minute videos, and give me a script for each of them. ChatGPT will literally do that for you. So I think a lot of times, and I forget where I heard this, probably on Instagram. The place where great dreams go to die is the planning stage, right? So if you get so stuck in planning and never execute, you'll never get any leads. So just some activity is better than no activity. But I also love that idea because, again, if you struggle with what to say, you could be in front of your phone for an hour before you're like, I think that was a good video. I hope that was this content. But it just kind of takes the guesswork out of what to come up with. So I really like that idea. Okay. The next page. So now we're getting into some actual strategies. And the first one there, it says insurance agents. When working with an insurance agent, if they do annual client calls, you can see if they have any real estate needs. You can ask if they're willing to ask, are you planning to buy a new primary residence or investment property this year? And see if that's the partnership where you can form, where they say you can be a couple of deals a year. This next one is called Slide Dial. And it's an automated text message campaign with a 97% open rate compared to a 20% open rate on email. And Slide Dial, you can use it to broadcast just sold and open houses. You can also research homeowners' cell phone numbers and then cross-check with the DNC list. So that one, I would say that that's for my cold callers in the room. There's some who are more like relationship focused, where it's like, why would I text people, James? There's no way. So that's for a cold market if you're okay with that. The next one we see here is business swap. If you pay for a service, ask for their business in return. This could be your barber shop, beauty salon, or even a pool. In-person visit, visit a model center. And it says visit 2 divorce attorneys a week. So I'll pause on the visit a model center. So the company I work for, NFM Lending, we have a partnership with Rockford Homes. With that, we have all the builder reps that you can have access to, as well as the models and all the areas of the subdivisions that they sell in. So if you ever wanted to just take a client and a walkthrough, they're very realtor friendly. I can share that information with you as well. Just ask me for it after the class. And then you can just take them through and see if, that model home is something they might be interested in. But one thing that I've noticed is that sometimes when people are just kind of not sure about what they want, I would always recommend you get them pre-approved first to make sure you're not wasting your time. But helping them kind of figure out what they want as far as a checklist in a home, seeing a model home is a good way to do that. So, and then the divorce attorney thing, I remember watching a podcast with a very successful divorce attorney, and it's harsh to hear, but it's true. He said, there is no slow season for divorce. It goes on year round. So I think that in a market where rates are a little bit higher, inventory is low, I think we have to focus on people that have to buy, so people that have to purchase right now, married couples, divorcees. The thing about divorces that is really important is that you have a decree by a magistrate where assets have to be liquidated by an expected date, like it has to be done. So I think that if you come up with maybe just a one pager and call on local divorce attorneys here in the area and let them know what you do well to be able to execute on time and get people into contract, I think it'd be very valuable service. And again, these are people that have to close. So I think that's a really valuable resource. This next one here is mail outs, evidence of success. If you have some testimonials that you wanted to put in maybe a one pager that you mail to an area that you want to farm. Letter of the heart, that's kind of old school. I've never done it, but basically what it is just kind of introducing yourself to a market that you want to, again, farm in. So, you could say, hey, my name is James, local real estate agent. Just wanted to let you know, this is my expertise. I know this area. If you have any questions about real estate, here's my information. It can be really very short and very sweet, but if you wanted to just mail it to an area you want to farm, you can do that.
I have a question about the divorce attorneys.
Yeah.
So would you recommend calling the attorney directly, or it would be like a law firm?
Great question. Yeah, so I have called on attorneys before. They typically have a gatekeeper.
Right.
And so what I usually do is, there's one of two ways that you can do it is, if it's appropriate, you can ask, I'm a local real estate agent looking to connect with some attorneys, and I actually specialize in being able to help clients transition that are going through divorce right now and to helping them purchase new real estate. I just want to drop off a newsletter and some donuts, maybe some business cards. Is there a day of the week that will work best for you? That's not very intrusive, but at least gets you in the door.
Yeah.
Now, if it's one, I've had some where the gatekeeper is like, you shall not pass. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's a no, I can't get around that, but sometimes you get people who are friendly, who are like, yeah, sure, that sounds fine, we're open to that. They usually have access to the attorney's calendar. And you can say, I'd love to pop in, 15 minutes or less, just want to introduce myself, give you a quick one pager about some of the services we offer that might be valuable for your clients. And that's a good way for you to, again, introduce yourself and, get a face-to-face meeting if you can get one. But you're right, typically you have to get through the gatekeeper first and a law firm. We keep trying.
Two questions. One, is the attorney gonna bill you for your time?
It's a very important question.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, no, I've never been billed,
Okay.
maybe a good question to ask. Yeah.
Second, not really a question, on the letter of the heart thing,
Uh-huh.
I'm working with my dad, who's also a realtor up in
Right.
Cleveland,
Mhm.
on a referral basis, and. So, long story short, some people that we worked for before, past clients,
Uh-huh,
her parents moved here from India. And
okay,
were looking for a place, a specific place that was for sale 2 years ago, and they really wanted that place.
that particular place.
So we looked around other stuff, it's like that particular place, so we
Mhm.
sent them a letter of the heart, my dad did, and then I knocked on the door today and talked to them, and she's willing to sell.
Oh,
But, so in that particular instance,
It worked.
letter of the heart, something personal.
Wow.
I mean, you can ignore phone calls, you can ignore numbers, you can ignore emails, you can ignore a
Right.
letter, but like, letter's a personal touch, and what do you do with the body when it's in front of your door?
Exactly, like you're here now, yeah. So, Jill, I want to ask a question, because I just got savvy to this, I guess. Maybe this is more for when things are at the offer stage, but is there some sort of compliance issue with writing a letter about why the buyer would be good for that home or something?
Yes, it could
Okay.
be construed as a violation.
Okay, but that's okay,
Yeah, I think that that's a little different. I mean, that's a circumstance, that's a, it's. Yeah, keep going after something specific that somebody, I think it's no different than if you have somebody that's looking for a specific home in a specific subdivision. You know, you could call them looking for that. You know, if there's anything, you're not trying to, have someone choose you over somebody else because of a letter
oh,
that was
gotcha,
written.
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
This is a special circumstance.
Cool, yeah, and it's not my area, so I was just asking an expert, so. But I love that, that's great, and it looks like it's gonna work out, so that's awesome. All right, so the next one we have here is, again, this is more if you're doing a newsletter type of thing, real estate tip of the month, this can be done through a video, you can send out as well. There is a service that I use called Hit 'em Up, and now these are for contacts that are on your phone already, but this is what it looks like. What's a little green one, but yeah, Hit 'em Up. The way that it works is, you know, let's say you have contacts that have agreed to, you know, have a, you know, contact with you. It can actually send a text template to like a bunch of people that are on a list that you create, all at the same time. So for me, with all the real estate partners that I work with, sometimes I want to send them some information about, you know, a mortgage tip. And rather than text 100 people, you know, for 3 hours, I can create a template, blast it to them, and I'm done in 10 minutes. So, you know, I think anything that makes you more efficient, is definitely helpful, but just want to share that one too. You can contact credit repair agencies, or reconnect with people that haven't closed yet. As a lender, I will tell you the numbers on credit repair and how it typically works. Whenever I'm working with a client who needs credit repair, the actual numbers on it is, you know, literally about 20% of the people that I give credit repair advice to actually follow it. Again, it's harsh to hear, but you know, they're probably in a tough credit situation for a reason, and there's a pattern there that they're trying to break out of, and it's difficult sometimes for them to do that. So working exclusively with credit repair agents for your lead source, especially in an inflated rate market, that might be a little bit tough. But you know, if you have a credit repair expert who's only going to refer you people who are credit ready, that would be the qualifier. That could be a good resource for you. Because a lot of times they're getting their credit repaired for the goal of purchasing a home. So if you have a credit repair agency, they're going to send you good leads. You have to tell them what a qualified lead is. If this is somebody who has a credit score of technically FHA, they can do down to 550 if you could put down 10%, but people with 550 scores typically can't. 580 is the FHA's minimum threshold for doing a loan. But I would say 620 or better is what I would ask them. If you can send me your clients who are looking for a home, credit score 620 and higher, I would love to be able to help your clients. Reconnects, that's really important just because, you know, there's a lot of good news in the Federal Reserve about them expecting to cut rates, hopefully, you know, over the next 12 months. So people that were on the fence in the last 4 or 5 months, it might be a good time to circle back. And then renters, if you wanna put flyers or door hangers and renter doors. Oftentimes apartment complexes will allow you to host a home buyer seminar for potential buyers as well. So you can call the property manager and see if you can host an event there.
I was gonna ask, cause I thought about doing that with my apartment complex.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge, there's a bunch of different sections of it.
Mhm.
Do you know if there's any law against it, or if that's just something that you would have to talk to the office about, or you could just do it?
Are you talking about like for the door hangers or?
Yeah.
For Jill first, is there any?
I think that that's gonna be a, community, so I know that there are some communities in the area that will not allow you, if you're living there, to be able to do that, right? But whatever you do, if you're doing door knocking, putting stuff, you guys all know that you cannot put anything into anyone's mailbox. You cannot open their door and put a flyer or anything in a mailbox. It's a federal offense if you do that. Do not be that person.
You just put it under there like mat, or
Yeah, that, or you can, they have, bags that you can purchase, that you can hang things on mailboxes, put it around the flag, do things like that.
Very cool.
Remember in property management, market saying read through the lease, like for the student has a clause in the lease that says it. I don't know, like the property management, like usually it's in drive. Yeah, I think they do have one, that you're not allowed to do? No, that they like say like what you can do with your community and what you can't. Okay. But then if it's like, kind of like, if it doesn't say anything exclusively, they can't follow the property management acts. Do you know like what section? It really just depends, it's not like the beginning is all like your personal stuff, and then it's towards the end, is where it's there. Okay. You're welcome.
Awesome. All right, and then, let's see here, this is a fun one, newlyweds. So you can send out letters to anyone who's recently filed a marriage license, that is a public record. Or set up a booth at Bridal Expos as well. I know back in the day, I know nobody reads newspapers anymore, but they used to actually list the marriage licenses in there, so you can check that out. And then networking, you can create a sphere of influence, or a call list. There's that rule of sales, never have lunch alone. If it's somebody that could be a future referral source for you, definitely invite them to lunch. Or you can start your own BNI group. I've been in a lot of different sales environments, and my personal experience with networking is that you definitely want to make sure it's fruitful for you, because I've been to some where you pay a due, you have a coffee, sit around for an hour, and then you didn't get any referrals from them. So, if you're going to go, it needs to be something that's going to actually produce income for you, is what I would say. So, I would say just do your homework on the organization, make sure it's going to be one where they, at least have an intent to refer business to you, honestly, truly. Make sure that you're making good use of your time. Right. All right, here's a few more ideas. So these are more event centered. So hosting a cookout with builders with standing inventory. You can drop off pastries at a local business. One thing that I thought was a really good idea is, we are an OFA approved lender. There's also those Homes for Heroes programs for like teachers, firefighters, police officers, first responders. So if you wanted to, again, do a one pager and drop off donuts at a few firehouses that are in your area, and maybe do that quarterly, so they actually kind of get used to seeing you and asking you real estate questions, I feel like that'd be a great idea. And then you can use a local lender. We have all kinds of print marketing that we can produce for you that just gives them general information about those programs. But here's the thing about getting in front of somebody. It's not necessarily like the fact that you're bringing them the flyer. The flyer is marketing. Like, you never want to leave them empty-handed, like leave something tangible with your information for them to take. But when they do think of real estate, they'll have that in hand. And it's like, I'm sorry, what's your name? Fabian. Fabian? Fabian. Fabian, you're like, oh, Fabian came by the firehouse, I need to call Fabian, right? You know, so make sure you take something with your information on it so that when they're thinking of real estate, they think of you. So local spots, you can network at local church groups, within groups that have shared interests and hobbies. And then more examples, Jeep enthusiasts, yoga classes, book clubs, wherever you find people, you can find leads. HOA duties, door hangers for local markers in your neighborhood, get on your local HOA board. Coffee shops, you can become, as we were talking about then, you can become a coffee house consultant. Since you spend time there, why not put a little sign while working free real estate advice? Or meet your top 50 contacts in person once per quarter. And then this last event here is connect with local animal shelters about very small sponsorships. People get very, you build connection and community over like causes and events. You know, so for me, one of my things is like my dad passed from cancer when I was 9. So anything that is like a cancer event immediately gets my attention, you know? So like there's this organization NC4K. I had this opportunity to get involved with them. It's no kid fights alone. But you know, let's just try this out. This is option number 1. Hey Ben, my name is James. I'd be fine. You want to send me a lead?
Yeah.
Okay. Or, you know, if it's like, hey Ben, we're at this great event together. What a great cause, right? Yeah, it's awesome. I feel like anytime you're part of something that's greater than yourself, it just makes you feel like you're a part of something. You get that?
Amen, brother. Totally right.
Right.
Good stuff.
Definitely. Hey, by the way, what do you do?
Oh, I'm a realtor.
No way, I'm a mortgage lender.
Oh, well, sounds like we can do business together.
I
then.
don't think we can. So it's just a lot warmer connection if you, and chances are if you're at the same event, you feel the same way about that cause, you know, so I just feel like, and I know that in sales, a lot of times we worry about our numbers, worry about our compensation, but if you kind of take yourself outside of that feeling, it's really, you know, not to say it's selfish, but if you take yourself out of that feeling and why are you actually doing real estate? You know, for me, I want to take the fear out of buying and help people with a really important milestone in their home, which is buying a home or investing in real estate for the first time. That is a huge, that's like graduating college. It's like, you know, getting married. It's like buying a home is a really big deal. And it's never lost on me that I'm a part of a really important milestone in somebody's life. So I feel like that comes across when you're talking to people, if you're for them or for yourself, you know, so, and we are wrapping up here. Says, do not miss a potential opportunity. Call everyone in the past 12 to 24 months and talk about the market being in their favor. And these are some data points I was beginning to share with Lori at the beginning of the process. I think a really important part of our job right now is taking people from being fearful to buy to being excited to buy, but giving them real data on why it's still a good financial decision to buy real estate. So in Ohio, this is part of our loan consultations we have with every customer we sit down with. Why should you buy right now? So the first thing is that we show them what's happening in Ohio. I read an article that said there's estimated to be over 3 million people moving to Central Ohio over the next 15 to 20 years. So what's going to happen is the buyer pool is going to explode and inventory is going to stay the same. And if rates do improve, it's not going to matter because it's going to be, you know, who can offer the most cash to win. And that's going to crush most people where right now affordability is already an issue for a lot of people. So letting them know what's coming is, you know, if you buy right now, you secure the cost of housing right now. And when you can refinance the rate, you've already secured your home and you lower your monthly payment. That's the first thing, you know, so we're getting ahead of the demand. That's the first selling point. And I tell them a success story. We have a colleague of mine, Danny and his wife, they bought a home in 2019 for $220,000. About 4 years later, they sold it for $350,000. So you show them how buying real estate is an investment. There's no way they could have saved that much in cash just from their regular wages. That can only be done through real estate. Conservatively, homes in Ohio are appreciating at 7% across the state. There's no other investment vehicle where you can invest your money and just park it for 4 years and get, you know, $150,000 return. You just can't. You know, real estate's the only vehicle that can do that for you. So getting ahead of the demand, you know, the value that you get in equity just by owning real estate. And then the other thing we share with them is that, when rates drop, what's gonna happen here in Ohio is this is basic supply and demand. As more people want something, prices shoot up. So if you have a lower rate, but prices are higher, you're actually gonna pay a higher monthly payment for waiting. So the third point would be savings. You're actually gonna save more money by buying right now. So when I walk people through that and the lights come, and they're like, oh, I gotta buy right now. And that's exactly the point is, you're not selling them on, sunshine, that's actual data, demand is coming. We want to get ahead of that. We want to save you some cash on your monthly amount and the appreciation, it's an investment. All right, and then I'm gonna skip some of this other stuff just to keep us on time here, but the last three, these are dialers. It sounds like some of you are already familiar with these. RedX, this is a site where you can gather expired listings for sale by owners that haven't sold. If it's either overpriced, poorly marketed, it's your job to figure out why and then target a dealer with a good value proposition. Vulcan 7, it's another site that gives you data on expired listings, but will automatically send emails and texts. It's a little bit more expensive. Mojo Dialer, this is a dialing system that can import RedX or any other data into it. And it'll automatically dial all the clients over and over until they pick up and alert you once they are ready. So those are dialers that sometimes they can be, anywhere from, I think RedX, they say it's like $100, and they bill you $300 to start, I think it is. But they'll give you information on how to cold call. So I wanted to leave some room for any questions, but any questions over anything we went over, or any ideas that you thought were kind of cool that you didn't hear about before?
They'll design free real estate advice. I like to think of as, Lucy from Charlie Brown.
Oh,
Doctor is in 5 cents.
exactly, yeah, just a cup of coffee. Yeah, man, and I think that really just anytime you can get in front of people and tell them what you do, it's an opportunity to kind of, connect with some needs that way as well. So, but any other questions? You good? Was this good information? Woo, I am burning it up. Anybody else? Hi. No? This is-
Great, Jim.
Thank you, Priscilla, I appreciate it. All right, well, I'm also gonna make sure you have one of my business cards. If you have anybody that I can help with either mortgage planning or pre-approval, love to be able to help. And then I will be doing a few more classes. I'm scheduled to do a few more. One of the other classes coming up is business planning for realtors. We'll show you how to hit your commission goal. The next one was 50 ways. Any topics that you guys like to hear?
Any topics?
Yeah, because I can basically create these. It might be nice to create some that would either help you with your CE goal or you think are on topics right now.
Delivering a great client experience.
That's what it is. Thank you, John. So yeah, delivering a great client experience. But yeah, we're working on one for NAR stuff, or at least from a mortgage perspective, how we can be good partners for even that too.
I think a good class, would be learning how to read the market. And how to tell like how the market is doing. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can look up how's the market doing today. For me as a new real estate agent, I'm not very knowledgeable on how to read it and understand it,
That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that. Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that's important, when you're talking with people and they ask you, especially right now,
Mhm.
how the market is doing.
Definitely. Yeah, I think leaning on the right experts is a big part of that. And I love Keller Williams. They have a great training platform. You have a lot of great mentors that you can, bounce that stuff off of too. And I think I was in a mortgage coaching session once, and my coach went around to each of us. He's like, "What do you think the market's gonna do? What do you think?" And what he helped us all kind of realize is that until it actually happens, it's all a matter of opinion anyways. What I've been taught to do is just do conditional phrasing where I kind of share people with, this is what could possibly happen if this happens. I feel like that's the safest way, because sometimes, especially if you're disclosing financial information, people go like, James, you told me the Federal Reserve was, I can't control the Federal Reserve, So, but yeah, I love that idea. We'll work on that too. All right, y'all. Well, I will definitely be around for some other questions, but thank you so much for coming out, and I will hopefully see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So will you shut off the, maybe
Oh.
you have everybody's information on there so you know who's there?
Yes, I believe everybody left their info. I want to see if I can take it down real quick.
Yeah, sure. It's not hard. No, it's just, it's something to show you how to do it. I wanted to say to everybody a couple of things. You guys, I want to make sure that you guys have some things, on your calendar, and I wanted to make sure that you guys know where to find things, like classes and stuff like that. You guys know at the end of every day, like your, all of that stuff is listed there, but one thing that I've not seen advertised, and I think it takes some planning on your part that I think would be very, very instrumental and helpful to you all, is the Ohio Association